Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to the More Self Discovery Podcast. I'm your host, Harriet Westmore, and I have a treat for you today. We have been trying to play catch up for so long. We originally recorded, I believe, back in maybe September, October, but things got kind of crazy there. So we kind of wanted to put it off and wait until everything dies down with the holidays and everything like that. But I am so excited to have Miss Erika Sardinha. Sardinia?
Yeah, you did
Okay.
good. You did good.
Okay.
Yeah. Sardinha. It's difficult because it's a Portuguese name. Not everybody's gonna get it right, so that's
Well,
fine.
I welcome you back, and you have such a story to tell. And I said we have to get this done because you have such an inspiring story, and I just want
Mhm.
people to know who you are and what you offer to the people. So I'm going to turn it over to you. Welcome and tell us about yourself and what you are doing.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me here on your podcast. I'm so excited. I believe things happen for a reason. I feel like probably this is way more aligned than at the time that we were trying to do. So that's amazing. My name is Erica. I am an empowerment coach for survivors. I help usually people who have been through a lot of stuff in life and that have been doing the work to help them go to the next level of their lives, figure out, reconnect with themselves, figure out what they really want from life, and go after it. Because after
Mm,
all we've been through, I mean, we deserve some peace and happiness. So
absolutely.
that's what
Absolutely.
I help people do. I have to say that I'm also a survivor myself. I am a survivor of childhood complex trauma, all types of abuse. And yeah, being a life coach and a yoga teacher, I've decided to use all my expertise to help other survivors because like my transformation was so incredible. I could not believe it. And I needed to do that for other people.
Hmm.
So that's me. That's what I do.
Wow. So, okay, Erica, take us back to the beginning. Share just a little portion of what you encountered and how that light bulb moment using your traumatic events of childhood, how did you transform it to what you are today?
Yeah. So, as I said, I went through a lot of trauma in my childhood, and that went on for a decade or so. That's why we call it complex trauma because trauma would happen again and again and again and in
Mm-hmm.
different forms.
Mm-hmm.
So, when I was kind of free from my abuser, I was 17 to 18 years old. And as with a lot of families happen, we are taught to don't talk about it, just shove
Mm-hmm.
it up, nothing
Mm-hmm.
happened, and that never works.
Mm-hmm.
So from my 20 from my 17-year old to late 20s, I was living a complete numb life. I actually don't have a lot of memories from that
Mm-hmm.
time because I was so checked out. I was now I know that I was suffering from depression, from
Mm-hmm.
PTSD, which is very normal for survivors.
Right.
So I went through this time where like I was not myself and I was encountering all these mental issues, right? So in my late 20s, that's when I decided that I needed to run away from home, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest. That's what
Mm-hmm.
happened. So that led me to change places and eventually I ended up in the Canary Islands. So when I came to the Canary Islands, I was with this ex-boyfriend. Bless him, he brought me here to this life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
uh, and I just ended up, I was still broken. I was broke. I wasn't feeling happy, and I was like, "What is happening? What is wrong with me?" So I came
Mm-hmm.
to this moment where I was like, "What the hell is going on? Like, what's wrong with me?" Luckily, I had started by chance or by fate to do some yoga because I needed to teach some stretching classes at a hotel here
Mm-hmm.
in the south of Tenerife. And I just started kind of like exploring my emotions and connecting to my emotions. And then I came to the realization that, like, the only thing, because I've changed boyfriends, I've changed jobs, I've changed
Mm-hmm.
cities. countries. Like now I'm in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean
R
and everything is the same. So I realized that like I was the common denominator, right? And
Mhm.
that was kind of a scary moment for me because I was like, damn, like I'm doing this to myself. And by then I started kind of exploring what happened to me during my childhood. But I had to stop myself and be like, okay, this happened, but like nobody's here now. My
Mhm.
mom is not here, my stepfather is not here, nobody's forcing me to have a mess of a life, right? So
Mhm.
that's when I realized that, like, okay, so if I had the power to live a messy life, then I can change things as well. So that's when everything really started for me. That's because I kind of took my power back and I was feeling like I could do this because I realized that I have the power within me to live a numb life or to actually live an empowered and happy life. So that's kind of how everything started for me.
Wow, wow. As you're talking, I'm thinking about, first of all, you are a strong, young lady to just, just leave everything that you know, even though it was in a toxic situation, and
Yeah,
just leave to another country by yourself, well, for, a boyfriend at the time, but you decided
yeah.
to, you didn't go back to what you knew. You
No.
decided to, make the best out of a bad situation and continue to move forward. For talk to us as a woman of color
Hmm.
and what you going to another city or into another country. How was that for you when you made the transition?
Listen, it was interesting. I never thought I would end up in Spain. When I came
Mm.
here, I didn't even speak Spanish. Uh, it happens that I am very good at other languages. Don't ask me why. Just I was born like this. I cannot give like credit to anything else. I studied and everything, but I never studied Spanish. But
Mhm.
anyways, so for me as a Black woman, it was at the beginning, it was like, where am I? This is so
Mhm.
different. But the thing is, I've been living in Portugal. I was born in Angola in Africa, but I was
Mhm.
raised but I was raised in Portugal, right? So I
Mhm.
was used to being the only Black woman, in there, people looking at me, people asking me questions, where are you from? And then it gets longer and longer. And
Mhm.
being in situations, asking yourself, like, is this racism? Is this because I'm not from Spain? Is this fair? So at the beginning, it can be quite um, strange, but I think I was just very bold and I didn't listen to a lot of things that people would say. I was so determined to stay here, and my plan was actually to go back to Portugal, but I wanted to go back like as a winner.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I stayed anyway. And well, I've been here for almost 10 years, got my partner, a whole life here. But I was just so determined to succeed. I wouldn't listen to anybody. I was working as a waitress, and I came from Portugal. Like I didn't finish my education at university, but I had kind of good jobs in Portugal. I was a supervisor, and all
Mhm.
of a sudden, like I'm waiting tables. So you've got to be willing to do things, you know, that you
Yeah.
don't want to do.
Right. You have to
So
humble yourself. Yeah.
exactly. And it was so good for me because actually I learned how to speak Spanish.
Mm.
Um, it was hell to be waiting in tables and people would make some weird comments about have you been in war and stuff like that. I'm like, just because I'm black, you're asking
Yeah.
me that.
Wow.
Yeah, it was tricky situation to be in. But I know racism is there and all of that, but I just have this thing where I'm like, I'm gonna rise above it.
Yes.
I don't care. And if you don't want me here, don't have me. I don't want to be around racist people.
Right.
That's what I know for sure. And that's the good part where people really welcome you and just welcome the difference, right? the way you are, because I mean, you're
Mhm.
different. We have to face it, like we're different.
Yes, exactly, exactly, and we can use our differences to our advantage because we are,
Yes,
yeah, we have so many. One thing about us as Black women, we are very resourceful and
we
we are
are.
very resilient, and whatever we go through, somehow God put us in us, gives us that innate ability to overcome it. It may
Yes.
take, a while, which, is
Mhm.
normal, but we just have that will, the determination to, push forward. And with that being said, talk about how do you overcoming trauma, and
Mhm.
what, in our lives, how can you create a positive support system? What is your take, or
Mhm.
how do you teach us how to do that?
Yeah. First of all, I needed to do this, and I advise everybody to do it. Uh, you've got to clean the house.
Mm, mm,
Um, a lot of us are attached to people that are not healthy for us. And if you
mm-hmm,
want to create room for healthy people and for healthy relationships, you just have to get rid of some people, or at least reevaluate the relationships you have in your life. And just, the thing is, some people are like, you either cut them, which is very hard, especially when it comes
mm-hmm.
to family,
Yes.
or you just have to put up with them. No, there's like a middle ground. You can go step by step, start by setting your boundaries. Really think about what are your boundaries, and what are you willing to put up with. And remember that your boundaries need to have a consequence to people. You can't just like put a boundary and people, because sometimes people tell me like, but they keep going over my boundaries and doing the same thing. But that's because they have no consequence to crossing your
Mm-hmm,
boundaries.
mm-hmm,
If you say, if you keep talking to me this way, I am going to leave, and you don't
mm-hmm.
leave, well, then they have permission to keep doing what they're doing.
Right.
So I would say, yeah, if you just set your boundaries, and I would say reevaluate your relationships. Let's say you have a very toxic person that you want to keep in your life, either because it's your mom, your sister, or whatever. Just realize that you don't have to spend 24/7 talking to this person, right? Realize that you can see them once a week instead of going there every day. You
Mm-hmm,
can call them when you feel like. So many people I see that when certain people call them, they're so quick to grab their phones, and you're in this anxious mode, and this other person who is extremely toxic is talking to you, and you are responding to it. And I mean, that's not healthy at all.
right,
So really
right.
try to set the pace, because you have options, right? It's not
Mm-hmm,
one thing or the other. You've got control. Take back your control, right? And set boundaries, have consequence for your boundaries, reevaluate the relationships and the time you spend with these people. And then you will see you will have room for having healthy people in your life. And for you
mm,
to get those healthy people, because I know a lot of people are alone or feel lonely and they don't know where to get those people, I
mm-hmm,
would say go out, go to different places, reach out to people, talk with people online. I have friends of mine that I've met in different Facebook groups, right? And they were into the same things that I was. And I
mm-hmm.
texted them. I was like, do you want to be my friend? You know what I
Oh,
mean?
wow. Yeah.
Amazing. Because if you have these things in common, let's say you love exercising or something, and in your area there is this Facebook group and people talk about exercising, going on a hike, go in there, talk to people, and bring in these healthy people. Of course, evaluate them, go on a date, see if you
Mhm,
like them or not.
mhm.
But sometimes we close ourselves out, and we think like, oh, I can only meet people at work, if I go out
Right.
at night, or if it's family. And it's not true. Like, you can look for these healthy people around you.
Absolutely. Great advice because, honestly, I'm a introvert, and that's one of the things I really have to work on is stepping out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And, I mean, this is out of my comfort zone because I enjoy meeting other people because enjoy learning about different cultures and different.
Mhm.
I've met like yourself a lot of wonderful people through Facebook groups, and that's not hard, but on a physical level, just stepping outside and actually meeting someone face to face, still that's still a challenge. But like you said, you never know who God's put in your path until you make that initiative to step out and just do it.
Yes, yes. I am extremely introvert. You're not gonna believe me, but I am. I rather be listening to people than talking. It's very
Mhm.
draining for me to be around a lot of people. I get drained. My partner, he's like all day like
Yeah.
talking to people. Like, don't you get tired? I get
Yeah.
so drained, and I totally get what you say. But sometimes, as you said, we have to step just like a
Mhm.
little step so we can make progress, or like do a course. Is that something you're interested in? Just do a course and see who you're going to meet there. Hmm.
Absolutely. So talk about your empowerment coaching services. What do you offer to your clients?
Yes, for now, because I'm working on other programs as well, I do one-on-one coaching. And what I love about the coaching that I give is that I am going to adjust to your needs. It's all
Mm,
about, yes, we are going to be talking about the past, but I'm a coach, I'm not a therapist. So what we're
right.
going to do, we're going to focus on the present and future, right? I think that sometimes I'm more like this kick on the butt that you need
Mhm. Mhm.
because some people that's what they need. And me as a
Exactly.
coach, knowing you as a survivor, I can help you take your life to the next level. So we go through all these limiting beliefs that you have that are tied to your past and kind of
Mhm.
like just take them down
Mhm.
once and for all, help you reconnect with yourself, really find what sparks joy in you, and help you take the steps to go after what you want. We usually work in a 3 months period. I like to live at least a month to make sure you have time to integrate what you learned, because
Mhm.
sometimes we have coaching or take these courses, and at the end of the day you don't integrate everything and it doesn't become second nature. So I
Mhm.
make sure, even if I have to go a little bit further, give you an extra week to make sure that you implement everything, so it's like actually true transformation.
Wow, that's awesome. And I can just tell just the feeding off the energy that you are
Mhm.
very caring and you want to make
Thank
sure
you.
that your clients are, understand and go through the process and know how to, and like you said, implement the tools that you worked with them to have
Mhm.
into their, daily life. And so that I think that's awesome. And there is a place for coaching and therapists. And like you said, a lot of people,
Yes.
it's good to, have a therapist. I mean, but sometimes it's too triggering,
Mhm.
to really go deep back into childhood and, even though it's important, but right now, I think a lot of people, they have a goal, they want to know how to move forward. And that's where,
Exactly.
life coaching can come in because I mean, it works both can work hand in hand together.
Exactly. Like I work with coaches. Now I'm starting with a new mindset coach. I had a life coach, and I've been
Mhm.
through therapy. There are different things, and sometimes you just need different things. If you, let's say, you've been doing therapy for a long time, you are
Mhm.
done talking. Now
Mhm.
you need to get to action, and
Mhm.
that's where a coach can come in handy. Because after all this talking, you're like, okay, like what do I do? I know all of these things. What do I do now? Like,
Right.
maybe you know what you want from life, but like, where do I start? But you're still a survivor. You still have a nervous system that needs more love and more
Mhm.
regulation. So
Mhm.
I'm really happy that I can provide that. I can take you to that next level, but I can also make sure you're taking care of yourself in the process.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Any, upcoming, webinars or classes that you're, wanting to share with us?
Yes, right now I am going live on Instagram every Tuesday at 5 p.m. GMT.
Okay.
Every Tuesday. I'm going live. It's a short live. I am working on a workshop, but you know how workshops take some
Mhm.
work, and I want to make
Mhm.
sure I give like, the best of me. So for now, you can find me live every Tuesday on Instagram and also on Facebook. And yeah, and have a little bit of we have been talking about taking your life to the next level without sacrificing self-care. We were talking about next level habits, and routines. I mean, I've been really going and giving you a lot of goodies there.
Absolutely. So what I'll do is gather all the information and I'll make sure I put it in the show notes for people to make sure they follow. Please follow Erica. I'm a part of her Facebook tribe. Talk about your Facebook
Thank
group.
you. My Facebook group is called Happy Survivors Tribe. In there, I give you everything that I share everywhere, everywhere else, right? But the thing is, this Facebook group is about to level up. I
Mm.
am about to level up. And the workshop that I was telling you about is going to happen within the group for my tribe that is there for free.
Oh,
So, yes.
oh,
So
good.
stay tuned because I'm planning on taking the group to the next level because I know that my tribe has been doing the work and now they are ready to step up. And
Mm.
me too, like my energy for 2024 is I want to step up. I'm stepping up in my business, I'm stepping up in my
Yes.
personal life, and I want to take my tribe with me. So join in, hop in.
I think that's the mantra for a lot of us. We're stepping up. 2024 is the year to step up and step out. We're going to do this. I mean,
Yeah.
enough of the, procrastination and, blah, blah, blah. It's time to really get in gear and and move forward and just do it. So
Yes.
I'm excited. I'm
Yes,
excited.
me too.
So again, everybody, I will put in all her information, her website. You have a website, which is in the ticker for those who are watching by YouTube. I will put the website information for audio for those who are listening by audio. So, any final words or of encouragement that you want to give us before we leave?
Yeah, I want to tell everybody that sometimes you have this feeling that you're powerless, but actually you are not. Like you have the power to change things. Just because things have been like this,
Hmm.
life has been hitting you in the face, that doesn't mean that you cannot make change. Yes, you can. And yeah, I am here to help you with that. Harriet has her podcast as well, and you're bringing awesome people in. Just soak in everything you can and make sure to do something with all the information that you get because we get lost in information.
Hmm.
Get the information, act on it, change your life. It is possible, I promise you.
There you go. One last thing. I do want to share my takeaway with this conversation. I think what hit me personally is the boundary setting,
Mm,
and the getting out of the, being the people pleaser or afraid of, saying no. Um, but you have to set boundaries. You got to take care of yourself first before you could take care of others. And that means mentally, spiritually, physically, whatever. Um, but also set boundaries because if people cross that boundary and they know they can do that, nothing's going
mm.
to change.
Yes,
So it's all
exactly.
about them conforming to you rather than you conforming to them.
Mhm.
And I think that's my mantra for 2024. So
Love
that's
it.
my takeaway, and I so much appreciate you and the hard work and the work that you're doing for others to help others to overcome toxic situations, trauma. I mean, because
Mhm.
there is a lot of uh, people that have been through so much. And I mean, it's really coming out. And again, 2024 is like the year of revelation.
It
Because
is.
people are, a lot of things are coming out in the open that has been kept, under wraps for years. And now, people are starting to, get tired of it and say, enough, I'm telling my story. Um,
Mhm.
and we're gonna support it and embrace it. And we
Yes.
have people like Erica, who is there to help you along that journey. So
Yeah.
let's reach out to her. Erica, thank you so much for being a part of my show. I would like to have you come back on another podcast to talk about, trauma through a different perspective. So I'll reach out to you about that. But
Yeah.
everybody, please take care of yourself. Please be safe. And we'll talk with you soon.